Hello, everyone, and welcome to Visionary Voices. My name is Brad Tompkins, and I am your host. And today we have a returning visitor, no other than CMO and VP of Marketing for VCF, Mr. Prashanth Shenoy. Prashanth, thanks for being back.
Absolutely. Fantastic to be back here, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to ask you about some of the trends that you're seeing in the market when it comes to private cloud. Like, what are going to be the big things in 2026?
Yeah, it's been an interesting 2025, as we were just discussing. 2025 really saw private cloud take on and accelerate the momentum in the market. In fact, a lot of organizations that we talk to, we're already repatriating workloads from public cloud into private cloud. So it's clear that private cloud is the preferred cloud native environment for a lot of our organizations. And a few key trends that were driving that was around Gen AI and the need for increased security, data privacy, compliance requirements, especially when proprietary data was used, was causing more of those workloads to be now deployed in a private cloud environment, right? So that, along with increasing costs in public cloud and the need for cost predictability and transparency, were some of the reasons why we saw this private cloud gain momentum. Now, as we head into 2026, we are looking at it from three key lenses, right? So, and Gen AI is a big factor that has underpinnings around all of these. So number one is, how are we looking from how private cloud can help our customers' infrastructure modernization journey, right? AI requires a whole new way of planning, designing, deploying, and provisioning AI infrastructure. So how is private cloud enabling that? Not only from infrastructure operations perspective, but also from infrastructure optimization perspective. So that's a huge trend that we are seeing, moving from an automation focused way of managing infrastructure, which is still very critical, to more of getting more end-to-end observability of how infrastructure is actually being utilized for AI workloads, as well as what can they do to drive more operational efficiency for AI. So that's number one from an infrastructure modernization. Number two is from an app modernization, right? So a lot of apps were built using AI, and it was pilot-based in 2025. Now it's more around AI native applications themselves, like agentic AI is taking on a big shift, right? So now what does private cloud do to help drive this agentic AI and cloud native AI application trends? And what can we do from an infrastructure to provide increased visibility? How does storage and networking change, especially with these huge hot data sets, of connecting these data sets that AI requires to AI services, the east-west traffic that networking needs to support, the storage requirements, the compute requirements of moving from a CPU-centric to a GPU-centric and AI accelerator-centric designs. These are some of the big trends that we are seeing in the market. And finally, the third big pillar is around security modernization, right? So the big trend there is like AI for security to security for AI. Because 2025 was like, hey, how can I make sure I can get better visibility of my threats using AI tools? Now, 2026 is all about like, how do I secure my AI applications and my AI workloads? How am I compliant? How can I increase my risk profile or decrease my risk profile for my business by using AI technology, right? So that's a huge thing. And security has moved from secure by design to secure by default, because that means that security needs to be built in every layer of the private cloud infrastructure, from an infrastructure perspective, workload perspective, and data perspective. So those are some of the shifts from an infra, application, and security modernization, and how private cloud will have a big role to play as a lot of these organizations move to be an AI-ready, AI-powered organization.
So we're seeing that with the VMUG member as well. I mean, you think about security. That should be top of mind for everybody. If it's not, it needs to be. You add to that the AI workloads. It has that proprietary data that you mentioned. I mean, that's the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons everybody's bringing workloads back on-prem to fuel AI. And the bad actors out there, they're getting more and more sophisticated. The second thing is around automation. Our members are always being asked, I think this is any industry, you got to do more with less.
Yeah.
And now it's like, here's VCF, this cloud operating model, this cloud platform, you need to run it on. They're not necessarily getting extra headcount to do this, but through the automation that VCF has, they can still operate like a cloud. Hyperscalers do this very efficiently. Yeah. You can do this now with VCF on-prem, once you utilize all the tools.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head here. So I think there's a lot of going to be focused, frankly, in terms of how IT organizations can shift their mindset, right? Like 2025 was the time when we unveiled VCF 9. A lot of organizations shifted their mindset that, hey, IT is the cloud provider for our line of business right now. So we need to have a platform mindset and a cloud operating mindset. So in fact, we've seen a rise of platform engineers and platform organizations in IT, right? And I believe 2026 will only accelerate that. So VMUG members have a huge opportunity, not only for reskilling and retraining, but to set themselves as the heroes for driving AI in their organization.
And be in that cloud operating model. Of course, that's more than technology. It's almost the easy part now with VCF, but it's the people and process. So if you can be that champion, it can really be a career accelerator.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with all the things that are we know are coming and things that we might not even know coming, how is VCF 9 and VCF 9 and beyond going to be meeting those challenges and helping out members and customers?
Yeah. Absolutely. Hopefully a lot of our VMUG members already saw the pace of innovation that VCF had from 2024 to 2025. And we can guarantee you that you're going to see that acceleration of that innovation heading into 2026.
Right? I like to hear it. I like to hear it.
And this has been exciting for us because, again, let's take the same three buckets and think about how VCF is helping our customers be ready for this 2026 era, right? So from an infrastructure modernization perspective, the two big areas is, number one, how can we help our customers manage their private cloud environment in a very scalable, efficient manner? So things like fleet management, identity management, single sign-on, all of these in a multi-tenant organization continues to be top of mind for us. So you're going to see us improve the scale and the operational efficiency for managing your large private cloud environments or even mid-sized private cloud environments, right? So that's top of mind for us because this is really going to help simplify IT operations and optimize IT operations.
And allow them to do more with less, like they've been announced.
Absolutely, yeah. The projects may increase, but the budget is going to remain flat. That's the reality of IT.
We hope it remains flat.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So that's going to be the case. So number two is taking the same infrastructure modernization and making sure the infrastructure is optimized to run your Gen AI applications, right? So, and especially at the end of last year, you saw drastically increasing server costs, right? Like the DRAM memory pricing is off the roof. So IT has been tasked to squeeze every aspect of the underlying IT investment that we have done. So a huge focus for VCF is how do we provide increased observability on how the underlying infrastructure is being utilized for Gen AI applications? How can we fine tune the operational efficiency of that underlying infrastructure, whether it's providing increased vGPU visibility, monitoring, threshold, as well as having capabilities like NVMe memory tiering to drastically help you with server consolidation as well as reduce your memory pricing, the expensive DRAM pricing requirements, right? So both infrastructure operation optimization using AI-assisted tool, increased visibility, scaling and operational efficiency of your fleet management, as well as your optimization of your underlying infrastructure. The things that we've done for 20 years on CPU, we are doing the same thing on GPU, right? So that's point number one. The second is around app modernization, right? So, and in the app modernization space, we really are honing in on the unified platform strategy because most of these modern apps are Kubernetes-driven applications, right? So you're gonna hear us double, triple, quadruple on making sure VCF becomes your single platform for running your VMs and your containers. We have the best runtime for Kubernetes, VKS, vSphere Kubernetes Services, built in natively without having to pay anything extra as part of your VCF, right? So it becomes extremely critical for us to make sure our customers have that single platform for running their modern workloads and their VM workloads. So a lot of effort and innovation will go into making sure everything from Kubernetes cluster management to all of the native services that is required for increasing developer productivity, as well as making it easy to provision and scale your Kubernetes runtime environment is going to be a huge focus for us. And finally, on the security side, as I mentioned, things are going to get hairy when you have a lot of Gen AI workloads and you have to maintain the security. So compliance and continuous compliance is going to be key for us. So we just unveiled the advanced cyber compliance SKU at Explore. And we made it generally available. So a lot of innovation is going to go into that to help our customers do continuous compliance, do drift remediation, config management a lot better, as well as make sure you have cyber recovery and disaster recovery built in to the platform, right? So a lot of work in that area to make sure our customers have security by default and have compliance in their private cloud environment. So pretty excited to see 2026 go forward.
Yeah, some good things coming. And what's interesting about VKS and being, built into VCF, you've got a lot of people that are repatriating. So those are going to be apps that are containers and Kubernetes apps. So it's like, all right, we've got to now, bring this in. And then the other piece of it with the observability and the insight you get from the infrastructure. Our VMUG members, yes, they're running VCF, but they also are running the hardware and the networking and the switching and sometimes the cooling and the power and all that kind of stuff for data centers. So to be able to reduce the total cost of ownership, you mentioned, budgets aren't going up, they're staying flat, but there's things that they need to have. So it's nice to be able to say, all right, we are maximizing every bit of not only VCF, but what's running VCF as well, as far as down to the hardware level. Yeah. That's very powerful.
Absolutely. And in 2025, we've already seen some really good results with some of our customers. Major airline in the United States have started repatriating their Kubernetes workload from the hyperscalers onto VCF because they're bought into the VCF private cloud and they're using VKS to now run some of their major airline applications, which are Kubernetes and containerized workloads on us, right? A lot of FSIs, especially in India and some of the emerging countries, as well as now we are seeing that in US, are using VKS to run their banking applications, right? So it's all about standardization of the platform, consistency of the way you manage and operate it. And just like you did it for VM workloads, you should be able to do it for Kubernetes workload, right? So that's the whole concept. And we are seeing some really good traction in the industry out there. So I'm pretty pumped and excited about how we can really help our customers build their modern applications and run it on VCF.
And if you're a VMUG member out there and you maybe not have that much experience with the modern apps, guess what? You already know it because it's VMware. It's VCF. You're familiar with this. So it's just like running another application, which is exciting. And if you are a dev shop and you do have those developers, they really don't care what kind of hypervisor you're running. They want it to be swift and agile and get everything that they need. And at the end of the day, if it's on-prem solutions, they don't care. They're just, banging away to get their apps up and running and things to production. So it's a great opportunity for VMUG members to embrace all of this and really see, not only their company improve their stature from adopting the cloud operating model, but personally from a career perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is going to be very critical for the VMUG members who are generally like VM admins have grown with a VM kind of a mentality, right? So the industry is moving really fast. Kubernetes is going to be your default kind of packaging model, running your modern applications. So it's very critical to kind of reskill yourself to say, what does it take for me to have a platform mentality of running my modern applications and my business critical applications that are VM based on a single platform, and how do I need to change my mindset? So exciting opportunity, frankly, for our customers to grow. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're a member out there and you want to get your hands on this, of course, a partnership with Broadcom with VMUG Advantage, you can get your certification, get VMUG Advantage, which is 128 core VCF. That's 9.0. You already have VKS in there. You've got private AI in there. So there's a lot of things that you could do in your home lab and then bring it into your company and then build it out, maybe do it internally with the IT department, some kind of help desk AI app, and then you can see how it's going to work for the business.
Yeah, and this is very critical because we have listened to our VMUG members, and our certification program, as we unveiled last year, has completely been revamped, right? To take that same platform mindset and mentality. So we have VCP very focused on VCF as this modern private cloud platform, but we've also added a whole string of advanced professional programs that we call VCAP, right? And one of them is for VKS, right? And even there's if you're a VI admin, how do you learn about Kubernetes? And we made a lot of turnkey solutions available in the platform. So you learn from a VCF automation kind of a mindset. But if you're a platform engineer, you want to use your open source tool. You want to have it easily integrated into your CI/CD pipeline. So we have a dedicated course for platform engineers among you, as well as a VI admin among you, to really grasp VKS and all of the powerful capabilities that we have built into VCF. So I strongly encourage you to go get yourself certified, get VCAPs, and get VCDX also, the distinguished experts, which there are very few in the world, so that you can be that master private cloud expert for your organization.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's great advice. So is there anything else you'd like to tell the VMUG member out there to cover, maybe just expanding on how they can use VMUG to help their career?
Yeah, absolutely. VMUG has been a fantastic community for us. As you've seen, Brad, we've had a tremendous partnership, especially since we became part of Broadcom.
It has
right?
increased.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And we promise you we're going to double down on that, right? It's going to be very crucial for us because you are our advocates. You are our champions. And you are, frankly, the ones that provide us feedback on how to improve our platform. So I'm pretty excited to get more of that feedback, but I'm also excited for you folks to jump into the next phase of your career, right? In terms of transitioning yourself from a VI admin to a cloud admin to a cloud expert. So the future is bright, but we got to put in the time, effort, and the hard work for us to be that next generation of professionals. So I'm pretty excited for what's out there in the industry, and it's been great partnering with the VMUG community.
Well, we appreciate the partnership. Thanks so much for being here, and we thank you for watching Visionary Voices. If you would like to learn more, you can do that at vmug.com. Thank you.